We know you want to cut through the noise, get straight to what matters. That's why you're here.
And that's exactly what we're doing today.
We're diving deep into a pretty significant development in brain-computer interface tech.
Yeah, specifically, we're looking at the FDA clearance that Precision Neuroscience just got for a key part of their system.
Right. And we're basing this on a CNBC article that just came out today, April 17th, 2025.
Fresh off the digital press.
Our mission, as always, is to pull out the core info, what this FDA nod means for precision for the whole BCI field.
And, why it should probably be on your radar.
Exactly. So let's jump in. What's the headline news here?
Okay, so the main thing is Precision Neuroscience. They're about 4 years old, a neurotech startup. They've got FDA clearance for a core component of their brain implant.
A core component?
Yeah, and CNBC is framing this as a, quote, major win for them.
Okay, and do we know what this component is called?
We do. It's the Layer 7 cortical interface.
Layer 7.
And what's really interesting here, maybe the key detail, is that this is apparently the first full regulatory clearance for a company developing a wireless BCI component.
Wireless. That's a big deal, isn't it? Cuts down on risks, like infection from wires?
Exactly. Potentially offers more freedom for the user,
Right.
less physical tethering. It's been a hurdle.
Okay, wireless BCI. Definitely intriguing. Let's zoom out for a second. What's the ultimate goal for Precision Neuroscience? What are they building towards?
Right. So they're developing a brain-computer interface, a BCI.
Which essentially reads brain signals.
Pretty much. It decodes those neural signals, the electrical activity, and then translates them into commands for, external devices.
Like computers or prosthetic limbs?
Could be, yeah. Their initial aim, the really big goal, is helping patients with severe paralysis, trying to restore functions like speech, movement,
Yeah.
things they've lost.
Yeah, incredibly important work. So back to this specific component, the Layer 7 cortical interface. What does it actually look like? What's it made of?
The article gives a pretty good description. It's a microelectrode array, and it's incredibly thin.
How thin are we talking?
Thinner than a human hair. It apparently looks like a small piece of yellow Scotch tape.
Wow. Like Scotch tape on the brain?
Sort of, yeah, but packed with tech. Each array has 1,024 electrodes.
Over 1,000 electrodes on this tiny thing.
Tiny little sensors. Think of them as like thousands of microphones listening very closely to the brain's electrical chatter.
Okay, so they listen. What else do they do?
Well, their main job is recording and monitoring that electrical activity right on the surface of the brain. But they can also stimulate it.
Stimulate the brain activity.
Yeah. And a key design feature they highlight is that it's flexible. It can conform to the brain surface without, hopefully, causing tissue damage.
That seems crucial for safety. Okay, so the FDA clearance. What does this allow Precision to do now? What changes?
It's a big step. The FDA has basically said, okay, based on your safety data, you can implant this Layer 7 device in patients for up to 30 days.
30 days.
Under specific conditions, of course. It's not full product approval for the whole system yet, but it's a significant milestone. It allows them to actually market this specific component for use in clinical settings.
Market it, like sell it.
Yeah, the article mentions a near-term use case. Surgeons could use it during brain surgery to map out brain signals, for instance.
Ah, okay. So it has immediate clinical applications, even if it's not the final BCI product.
Exactly. The article points out this isn't their end goal, but it could start generating some revenue.
Which is always helpful for a startup.
Definitely. But maybe even more important than the revenue, this 30-day clearance lets them collect data for much longer periods than they could before.
And why is that longer data collection so important?
Well, this is where Dr. Benjamin Rappaport, he's Precision's co-founder and chief science officer, his quote really hits it. He says, this regulatory clearance will exponentially increase our access to diverse, high-quality data.
More data, better results, basically.
Which will help us to build BCI systems that work more effectively.
Yeah. Think about learning a language. You need more than just a few words. You need sentences, conversations.
Right. You need context and volume.
Exactly. Longer data streams let their algorithms really learn the nuances of an individual's brain signals. That could lead to much more precise control for the user down the line.
Makes sense. Now, Precision isn't alone in the space, right? It's getting pretty crowded.
Oh, absolutely. It's a hot field. The CNBC piece specifically calls out Elon Musk's Neuralink.
Of course.
And another company called Synchron.
Synchron, I've heard of them. Didn't they get some big-name backers?
They did. The article mentions Jeff Bezos from Amazon and Bill Gates from Microsoft are investors in Synchron. So serious players, serious money involved.
Definitely a competitive landscape. And isn't there a connection between precision and Neuralink? Something about the founder.
Yeah, that's an interesting wrinkle. Dr. Rappaport, the Precision co-founder we just mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
he actually co-founded Neuralink back in 2017.
Really?
Uh,
With Musk. Seems so. But he left Neuralink in 2018 to start Precision.
Wow. Okay, that adds a whole other layer to the competition, doesn't it?
It certainly makes for an interesting dynamic, yeah. Knowing one of the key people at Precision came from a major rival.
Fascinating. Okay, so before this clearance, Precision had already used this layer 7 tech a bit, right? The article mentions that.
Yes, it says they've temporarily implanted it in 37 patients already.
37.
And CNBC apparently observed one case themselves last April at Mount Sinai in New York.
But those earlier uses were different somehow.
Very different context. Those implants were super short term, like minutes or maybe hours.
Just grief tests.
Yeah, and critically, they were done on patients who were already having brain surgery for other medical reasons. So it was more like piggybacking on an existing procedure for a quick data grab.
Got it. Opportunistic, but limited.
Exactly. Valuable, sure, but not the sustained data they really need.
So how does this new 30-day clearance change the game for them?
Fundamentally, now they can do intentional implants lasting up to a month, specifically to collect data.
Dedicated data collection periods.
Right. It gives them a much deeper look at how the interface works over time, how the brain interacts with it. Like Dr. Rappaport said, this increased access to high-quality data is what they believe will accelerate development.
Accelerate towards that goal of helping paralyzed patients.
That's the hope, making the BCI systems more effective, more reliable, ultimately making a real difference.
Okay, so wrapping this up. This FDA clearance for the Layer 7 component, it's not the finished product launch,
Not yet.
but it's a really crucial step. It unlocks that extended data collection they need to refine the technology.
Precisely. It's validation. It allows longer-term study with their specific tech, that thin, flexible array designed for the brain's surface. A big move forward.
And for everyone listening, wanting that efficient insight, this deep dive hopefully gave you the key takeaways on a significant development in neurotech, precision neuroscience, getting this clearance for their core component.
And what that means in the bigger picture, with competitors like Neuralink and Synchron also pushing hard.
Right. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. With neurotech advancing so quickly and this increasing ability to access and interpret brain data, how will this shape the future? Treating neurological conditions, restoring lost functions.
Yeah, and what other questions, maybe ethical or practical ones, pop up as these technologies get closer to reality? Something to definitely keep an eye on.